How's it going, everybody? This is Siri here, and we have a Fantastic Four reveal via strike time. So I kind of woke up a little bit late, so I didn't really catch this as it happened. I'm all ready to go. Now, I am really curious if Franklin Richards is going to end up being on this team, because I did this video here a little over a month ago where it's kind of saying, hey, Franklin Richards is being teased a lot in the strike time Age of Annihilus, and this artwork they ended up using was X-Men Fantastic Four from 2020 issue 4. And this is where it's basically Franklin's kind of trying to find his way. Is he a mutant? Is he not a mutant? And it's kind of him trying to get to like Xavier type of thing. I believe that's kind of the theme of that whole arc. Now, they did end up doing another teaser during this to where Satana was kind of teased, and the artwork they used for that was Doctor Strange 2015. So I'm really curious if Franklin is one of these images on here. Obviously, it's not the Invisible Woman, because that's this missing person that kind of got teased out there. This one here is most likely Mr. Fantastic, so I'm guessing that this would end up being Franklin. That's where my money would end up being on this little image. So let's go ahead, watch the strike time, and see what's coming.
Greetings, Commanders. Welcome to another episode of Strike Spot. We have a fantastic episode for you today. But first, make sure to leave a comment down below on who your favorite team is in Marvel Strike Force right now. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on the latest news and updates in Marvel Strike Force. Today, we're going to be having an interview with one of our combat designers, Ricardo, regarding the new team that's coming to Marvel Strike Force. Let's go ahead and dive in to this interview. Well, welcome, Ricardo, to this
let me go ahead and move myself
on the brand new team.
Ricardo,
I first wanted to ask you, what have you done on Marvel Strike Force, and how long have you been here for the players that may not know you?
Yeah, so I am a combat designer for, the combat team. And I made a few teams for some of them, like Vigilantes. And I've been working here for around 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Vigilante, so we all know, like, when they first came out, they weren't that great. That little tweak they made to the team, though, because they only changed like 3 things on the team, and the Vigilante turned out to be an amazing team. I used them to try to take out Xavier's and Cosmic Crucible for trying to do like that one burn attack, so I don't have to do 2 burns. In war, they're amazing. They're even able to hold up and take out certain Mephisto comps, which is awesome. So that gives me hope for this Fantastic Four team.
The whole experience.
Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. That's very cool. Well, today we're going to be talking about a new team. And I know that there's been a little bit of buzz in the community. So who is the new team? Who's going to be coming into Marvel Strike Force next?
Yeah, so the new team is going to be the Fantastic Four MCU. And this team is going...
These costumes look amazing, by the way. That's like straight out of the movie, which looks amazing. So we got Pedro Pascal over here, Eddie from Stranger Things for new skin. That looks really sharp. I forgot her name. And then we got Richie from The Bear, which is awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that movie, obviously. But no 5th member on here. So hopefully they're going to tell us who that is later on.
And to have the new Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, Invisible Woman, and some reworks for the team.
Okay. And before we get into talking about each member specifically, what is kind of the lane that this team is gonna excel in the most?
Should be Arena, right?
So yeah, we made this team specifically for Arena, and they're going to be the top meta team that you want to have to be able to win in that mode.
So yeah, the Arena team's typically good everywhere. We had that Black Order meta, then we had Infinity Watch, and then we had the Annihilator. So now we have Fantastic Fours. So that gives me really good hope for this team as far as what they're going to be able to do inside and outside of Arena. Now, I know they've been kind of sticking to lanes, like basically if you go to Cosmic Crucible, you're really going to be good in Cosmic Crucible and not really great elsewhere. So I'm really curious how this team's going to perform.
They are also going to be decently in other modes like War. They won't be the top dogs in the other modes, but they should still do a pretty good job.
Yeah, and it shouldn't really be like the top dogs, because we have teams like with Mephisto, Odin, Professor X, stuff like that, and they're starting to kind of push away from Mephisto with a whole Null Quasar type of thing. So the team, I'm really hopeful that it's going to be a really good team. Also, that's a bad pause spot. Sorry, Path Daddy.
Yeah, traditionally arena teams have been pretty powerful, so I'm going to be excited to see what they can do. You talked about a couple of reworks. So who are the reworks going to be? I'm assuming 2 and 2 to go along with the 2 new members, right?
Yeah, correct. So it's going to be the Thing and the Human Torch.
Okay. Very cool. Well,
we all knew Human Torch was going to get that rework, right? Because RJ in that Strike live Q&A thing on Twitch basically said, it's like, hey, Human Torch has never had a rework before, so that's one member you can expect to be on this team. So we all kind of knew that one. Then we're kind of assuming that was going to end up being the Thing, because we have Invisible Woman, who's on the Mighty Avenger team, Illuminati with the Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. So we kind of knew what was going to be getting reworked.
Let's start with the Thing, I guess. Any special reworks to him besides just stats? Or what are we looking at with the Thing?
We did give him like a big stat update, like how we usually do for like the new rework.
Oh, look at that tag. Fantastic Four MCU looks to be the team name that they're going to be going with on here. So that's pretty sweet. I like it.
And for him, his rework kind of changed a little bit. He had a lot of like war defense mechanics, especially for his ultimate. Removed a lot of like those limitations and just added it to be like essentially working everywhere. And his stat buff actually made him like pretty crazy with damage. So he didn't really need too much. He's very useful with his retaliation abilities.
Yeah.
So,
and I think I read somewhere that now his ult, does it apply trauma everywhere?
That is correct. So now you're going to be able to apply trauma, and then with this stun, it's going to be pretty devastating.
Yeah, that's going to be a really powerful addition to this Fantastic Four team. What about the Human Torch? I know that the Human Torch has been a character that is pretty old at this point. I mean, we're looking at like what, 4 or 5 years old, and hasn't been touched since he initially came out. So what are we looking at for the Human Torch?
Yeah, so yeah, essentially, yeah, like you said, Human Torch hasn't been like touched at all. His passive was basically a few lines and a bunch of like stats. Yeah. So I kind of did have to kind of recreate a lot into the passive. He's essentially just going to be helping putting out more damage, and he does have other ways to like prolong negative effects now because of his passive. His ultimate is still.
So not sure if you guys saw. Looks like Invisible Woman's coming in stealth. That's actually pretty cool. I like that.
Helping putting out more damage, and he does have other ways to like prolong negative effects now because of his passive. His ultimate is still going to be pretty strong as well because of the stat update.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Yeah, I am really hopeful that Human Torch is going to be pumping out the damage on this new team. I remember way long ago when he used to do that ultimate, and it was just such a devastating attack. So looking forward to
that was pretty satisfying.
Well, let's jump into the new characters. So can you tell me a little bit about what Mr. Fantastic is going to be providing to this team?
Yeah, so we kind of wanted to make it Mr. Fantastic a little bit more defensive, more like a protector. I did not want to kind of just like make some healing tank, but we essentially kind of went into a direction of like he's going to be applying a lot of barrier onto himself. He's going to be giving block chance to his allies. So he's going to be protecting the team, like, or a more barrier way. He's also still going to be doing a decent amount of damage.
Okay.
Sorry, that move was way too entertaining to watch, having him go on that ball and everything. But yeah, block chance, barrier, so pretty interesting protector as far as that goes.
So we're looking at more of a protector that's providing barrier. Are we expecting him to be a taunter then as well as a protector? How is that going to work?
Yeah, so he does have taunt. He's going to be absorbing a lot of that damage through that. But if like somehow taunt is removed from him, he will have ways to like also provide defensive bonuses to his team.
So I'm curious then, what does that make Invisible Woman on this team? Because I know traditionally we've been used to the Invisible Woman that's more of the protector, providing barrier, providing kind of some of those more defensive buffs, but Mr. Fantastic's already doing that. So what is the new Invisible Woman going to be doing for the team?
Yeah, so Invisible Woman's going to be the brawler of the team, and she's going to be doing a lot of attacks. She's going to be removing a lot of positive effects and applying a lot of defense down.
Nice.
Her passive is also going to be doing a lot of damage while your allies are using like special and ultimate abilities. And one of the things, right, like she's invisible, right? So we made her have stealth mechanics. Specifically, when she has stealth, she's going to be increasing her crit chance and crit damage, just because it's, I mean, it's the prize it's on, right? And her ultimate is going to be like this pretty powerful ability that's going to be dragging all the enemies together. So a lot of AoE attacks on the second wave of attacks for the Fantastic Four are going to be doing more damage.
Okay, so
that was a really cool animation. I like that. So remove positive effects, apply defense down, extra damage in stealth, which she spawns in with. That tells me she's going to be a very fast character. Human Torch, she's like high 120 speed. I want to say like 127. So that means that she's probably going to be going before him. So that immediately says plug and play features or high value character to invest in. So very fast, stripping, doing the defense downs, crits. So she's going to be a very good character on this team, I feel.
A different spin on Invisible Woman being more of an offensive threat versus a defensive protector. I think that's pretty cool. Well, we have 4 members of the Fantastic Four, but traditionally teams have been 5 total characters. So do we have a 5th character to go alongside the Fantastic Four?
Yeah, so Franklin Richards, he's one of my favorite characters too. But
Vindication.
He's going to be the controller character.
We have Vindication. I called Franklin Richards in that video. He is here. And he looks actually pretty cool. That's like a Future Foundation type of costume that they have too. So, heck yeah, that's awesome.
Because of his warping reality powers and all that stuff. He is going to do a lot of new things.
No legendary or mythic tag though, so can they do him justice? It looks like he's going to be a younger Franklin Richards here. So he's not going to be like the full powerhouse name that he goes by and everything. So yeah, he's definitely the younger version, like a teenager type of thing. I still think that he needs something special. So let's see if they can actually do him justice without those tags.
He's going to also be doing a battlefield effect. So we put a lot of like control aspect.
All right, so battlefield
Fantastic
effect.
Four.
All right.
Yeah, so Franklin Richards, he's one of my favorite characters too. But essentially he's going to be the controller character because of his warping reality powers and all that stuff. He is going to do a lot of new things. He's going to also be doing a battlefield effect. So we put a lot of like control aspect abilities into this character.
Okay, so new battlefield effect. Can we talk a little bit about what that is and what it's going to do?
Yeah, so currently right now there's regular battlefield effects where another ability can like remove the battlefield effects. Franklin Richards is going to have that, and in Arena he's going to have a locked battlefield effect.
Oh jeez.
This effect is going to be applying a new debuff on turn, or negative effect, and like it's going to be silence.
Okay. So not only is he going to have a battlefield effect, but also going to be bringing in a new mechanic called silence. So what is silence? What is this going to do?
Yeah, so silence is going to be a negative effect that is applied to your enemy characters, and it will essentially block that character from applying negative effects or positive effects
Oh, nice.
to enemy characters or allied characters. And it's also going to block reducing positive effects on enemy characters. So it's just a way to kind of like stop all these like positive effects or negative effects. Like we've had too many characters that just apply a lot of them, right? So it's just another way to kind of control the field or the battles.
Okay.
Okay, so that is quite the negative effect. Is that only going to work in Arena, or is that going to be something that Franklin Richards just innately has in all games?
So there's going to be two ways to apply it with Franklin Richards, and the way that I said in the battlefield effect, that one is only going to be working in Arena, and because of the way I set it up, it's essentially being applied every single turn. On every enemy turn is applying to that character.
Wow, that's really powerful.
It's the only way to kind of like be able to like have this ability like be sticky enough in Arena. But the other way, and the much easier way, and it's going to be working outside of Arena, it should be on Franklin Richards' ultimate.
Shit.
He's going to have an attack.
Oh my god.
So, and that.
Hang on, we gotta appreciate this. That looks amazing. Holy crap, that's awesome. Heck yeah.
He's going to have an attack all. So, and that ability is going to be applying silence to all targets.
Wow. So Franklin Richards definitely going to be a powerful character, one that you're going to want to have on this Fantastic Four team. That's really exciting. New battlefield effect, new mechanic. Man, the Fantastic Four team is going to be a powerhouse in Arena. That's really exciting.
I see what
else,
you did there.
do you want to share about a Fantastic Four, or what are you looking forward to the most for players to be able to experience this new team in Marvel Strike Force?
Yeah, there's multiple things. I tried to make this team really kind of like, they're a family team, right? So they're working together to maximize like their teamwork, right? So a lot of the theme around this team is on Fantastic Four abilities like specials or ultimates. The new characters are going to be applying specific effects. I believe Franklin Richard has a speed meter increase whenever Fantastic Four uses like their special, their ultimate. Invisible Woman will attack whenever somebody uses an ability or the special or their ultimate. And Mr. Fantastic is going to be applying Barrier on the team. So it's a very kind of team working ability that doesn't necessarily just revolve around just like doing one ability and then doing the next ability.
Nice.
The other thing, so the way that I made this team work is they don't really need to include the new rework characters, so you can start adding in, instead of like the Thing or the Human Torch, you can start adding in Odin and Null or essentially any other mythic character you want there. These abilities that I put out,
so
if Mr. Fantastic uses his special,
so that's going to leave some theory crafting, right? So if you said that you don't really need the reworked characters, so in Arena it's probably going to be the 3 new members, Professor X, and then insert 5th character here is probably what it's going to end up being in Arena. Outside, Thing still had those war callouts. I wonder if he's going to keep some of those war callouts, or they just kind of like baked them all in the kit. So that might end up being something there. Human Torch, he's just a fast character, pumps out a lot of damage, especially with the reworked stats. So I'm curious if he's going to see some play. But the 3 new characters look amazing. So
ultimate, those require the new characters or the Fantastic Four characters, but the outcome of like their ability, like applying Barrier, should be applied to the mythic characters also. So the speed should be also applied to them. So you should be able to like work with new or mythic characters to kind of counter and make your arena team like way more stronger.
Okay, so you can really mix and match then with the new Fantastic Four members, at least with some of the existing mythic characters. That's pretty cool that they're not necessarily tied to having everyone available, although thematically that would be super cool, right?
Yeah, it would.
Well, thanks so much, Ricardo, for joining me today for this interview. I hope we can have you back again very soon.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's it for now. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next episode of Strike Spot.
So I'm wondering if we look in the background, Hulk Venom. I wonder if that's going to be a teaser for something. Maybe that would be kind of cool. But as far as the Fantastic Four team goes, it looks really cool. Franklin looks amazing. I'm thinking that Invisible Woman's going to be a very fast character because she's going to need to go like before Human Torch is my thought process based on how they kind of described what it does. Franklin, he looks like he's going to be great in every single game mode. So that's two good members for sure. I'm curious as far as what Reed Richards is going to be bringing. The barrier protector, obviously that's going to be important and everything. But I'd hold off on investing in like Human Torch thing until we kind of have an idea as far as what they're going to bring to the team, unless you kind of end game or just kind of level everybody up, just kind of get ahead of the curve. That's kind of what I've been doing. But I'm really excited about this and super, super excited that Franklin Richards is coming because I called it, people. I called it. Vindication. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have one for the rest of the day.